And the debate on the appropriateness of the intended introduction of the comprehensive sexuality education, well, it seems far from ending. This morning, lawyer and concerned parents Kofi Bentil, speaking on the Super Morning Show with my colleague Daniel Dazi, indicated that whatever the government is defending now is a camouflage to the bigger objective. He insists that the program is not good for the country.
This CSE thing is not new. It's been around the world for a number of years. CSE is a Trojan horse. We have a little time, so I'll use these analogies. It's a Trojan horse. It looks like one thing, but everywhere it's been experienced, it's something else ultimately. A Trojan horse comes into your compound and looks like a toy or something like that, but there's something inside, and it comes out later. Even in permissive USA, even in Canada, permissive countries where you can't insult somebody for their sexual choices, okay, they've had huge problems. Now, I don't have a problem with sex education, I don't have a problem with biology, but let me be clear on this one. And again, a little time and a little check will show people a lot. I came to it that way, okay? There is a difference between biology, teaching people about body parts. That is different from sex education, which I don't have a problem with. Teaching people about the sexually sensitive parts of your body and what to do, what not to do, and some of those things you can teach kids. It's not all of that you must teach kids. Then there is sexuality education. That's different. That has to do mostly with choices. Okay, then there is comprehensive sexuality education, which is more persuasive if you read the literature. I spent my weekend going through this. I have a friend who has been debating me all the time on this for a number of days. He just sent me a message and said, look, I went to read and I am now convinced about your position. The more you go into the detail, you understand that comprehensive sexuality education is not just teaching children how to avoid rape. All right, it is more about persuading people first to be accepting of alternative sexual lifestyles, and two, and this is where the problem is, to remove the dissonance they feel, okay, in their own choices and exploration of those alternative lifestyles. That is where the problem is.
When you say alternative lifestyles?
Look, in California, they are putting out 13 different choices. You can be a man, you can be a woman, you can have sex with a woman and a man, and you can do it together.
For gender, 13 different gender choices.
Gender and sexual choices. And the point is this, you see, the fact that people are doing it does not mean you should teach my child to accept it. And I've broken down 4 things. Biology, sex education, no trouble. Even sexuality education, teaching people about these things, I have no problem with the choices people make. In fact, check all the history. Every time we've had problems with sexual choices, I have defended the people who make those other choices. Okay, I've had my arguments with...
Which is why I'm personally surprised at your position.
Exactly, because I come to these things myself and carefully. So I'm saying, make your choices. But when you move from sexuality education where you're telling people, well, people make these choices, this comprehensive sexuality education is a brand. It was cooked up by IPPF, Marie Stopes and Co., and they've been pushing it across the world. And go into that brand. That's why I call it a Trojan horse. First, they dress it like something. They dress it like sex education. They dress it like what my brother here is talking about helping people to avoid this. Not something. No kid is capable. No kid is capable of ultimately defending themselves from pedophiles and rapists. That is societal and parental. You can teach them whatever. We've not stopped stealing by teaching people stealing. And you said it. We've not stopped corruption by teaching people corruption. I have taught my kids and I've raised other people and taught them everything. But a pedophile will attract your kid with just candy. Enforcement has a role to play in that. And when we are giving education, we should be careful giving education that makes these kids more accepting of these things. We should teach them nobody should touch this, and if they touch that, this is how you react. Okay? And if you read the literature on comprehensive sexuality education, you mentioned, and we don't have the time to go into it, they talk about people enjoying their sexuality. Okay, if you go into all kinds of things, they talk about things that suggest, and I don't want to be graphic this morning, things about masturbation, how it's acceptable, and basically say that people are making these choices so you can also make these choices. We need to be clear-eyed about this. You don't look at a Trojan horse and say it's a toy. The problem is what's in there.